You've always said that fighters need to earn a living, fighters have a
100%.
short career.
That's why I say I don't blame Tyson.
But however, is the sport completely being dominated by money now? Because I understand your aspect of, yes, they need to earn, but to be honest, Eddie, how many millions do you actually really need to live?
Depends what kind of life you want. But it's a very good question. And money is dominating the sport of boxing.
Is it totally, like Lomachenko has gone to say about John today, I'm an athlete, you're a businessman. Is that athlete perspective completely taken out now? Is it going towards that way? Is it going to be a problem?
No, I mean, you are right in what you say about how many millions do you need, because that does change the mindset. Like, it's not always the fighters, it's sometimes the advisors and the managers and the people around the fighters. The fighters generally will fight anyone, you know, like, and they need to be looked after because they'll fight anyone, sometimes for any amount of money. So, you know, the advisors, the managers there, their job is to create the best opportunities for the fight and quite simply to make them the most money possible. Like, I can't lie to you. You know, I'm a promoter, I'm not an advisor or manager. My job is actually to try and pay a fighter smaller money to make money for the show, being quite brutally honest. And we do have to be careful about creating an industry where it is money only, because sometimes the most purest form of sports to watch are the ones where there's no money involved. Do you know what I mean? Like when you watch a kid play football, I sponsor this local football team, right? They're 9 years old, and I went to watch them the other Sunday, and it was really refreshing to watch a sport where one was getting paid. Do you know what I mean? And they played with such passion and energy, and all they wanted to do was win. You know? And that's sport. That's the purest form of sport, when an athlete doesn't actually get paid and it's just about winning and about competing. So now we live in a sport where it's, yeah, I'll fight him, but only if the money's right.
And I don't even hear fighters even say, I want to become a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You know, that phrase, I just don't hear anybody say it anymore. I feel like it's completely dominated.
Well, the money's gone mad, and the money is the root to all evil, in my opinion. And that's from someone who likes a pound note. But, like, whether people believe me or not, I really, like, money, to me, it's not the money, it's the targets. So like when you run a business, you set targets. Financially, it's the only way you can really prove your success and your growth is your financial numbers. So it doesn't really matter if it's 1 or 10. Whatever your target is the aim. So as a fighter, you need to have those targets. It can't be, I want to earn 100 million. Your target must be, I want to be the best, I want to be unified, I want to be undisputed. That has to be the target. It's also a sport that's incredibly dangerous, and I don't think there's any way to other say it's bad for your health. I mean, let's talk honestly here. So it's not football, it's not tennis, it's not athletics. You have to be financially rewarded, and these guys are retiring at 29, 30, 31. What are you supposed to do with your life? Like, you have to go and get a job. So the ones that can secure their future and their family's future, and like, you've also got to respect that, you know. But you know, like
are you content
with what in my life?
With life, with money?
Yeah.
What drives you now with the zone? Is that domination of world boxing, or is that
what drives me?
Or is that you're earning so much more money for fighters for yourself?
No. But I like people that inspire me. Young fighters inspire me. Katie Taylor inspires me. AJ inspires me. Watsy, other guy, you know, like, if you can, and this sounds a little bit selfish, but if you can inspire me and you can motivate me, fuck, I will do the most unbelievable job for you. Do you know what I mean? Because when the tank's empty, and it does empty quite often these days, you have to keep going, and you've got to stay up, and you've got to make those calls at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you've got to, you know, fly to Mexico and Puerto Rico to see governing body. Like, that's my responsibility. So am I happy? Yeah. Am I content? No, because I'm probably my own biggest critic. So what am I trying to do? I I don't really know. People ask me that question a lot. What, you know, it's definitely not the money. That's just the target. I want our financial results to be better than last year, right? And I've got targets to hit, and I'll judge myself on whether I hit those targets and how the shows go. Like, there's nothing worse for me than doing a shit show and going home, because I feel it's probably one of the only times I do feel a bit depressed. You know what I mean? Where I think, and obviously I get bundles of stick, but that's okay to deal with. But I'm more pissed off that we've lost an opportunity to do a good show. So tonight was a 8 out of 10, and I believe Liverpool will be a 9 out of 10, and Philly last week was probably a 10 out of 10. And when I left there, I felt $1 million, like brilliant, you know. So, but you got to be careful, because you can't let it obsess you and dominate you and let it affect your personal life. We're going a bit deep now, but like, you know, so I've got 2 kids. I don't want to go home. Like, if I do a show on a Saturday and it's shit, when I wake up on Sunday, I'm pissed off. Right? I'm probably checking my social media. People are having a go at me. I've got a negative attitude, and I shouldn't be like that around my kids. You know, like, I've got to give them positivity. I've got to, like, even when I'm shattered, I've got to take them to the park and like take the dogs for a walk with them. I mean, like, you just want to go to sleep, but that's your job as a parent. So you can't obsess on things. You've just got to try and realise, like, what matters, what does matter. You've got to be happy.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. You know, and when we talk about money and fighters, like, that comes and goes. You know, one day I'll leave boxing, and I might leave boxing quicker than people think. You know, I don't want to be that guy at 87, like Bob Arum, who's flying around the world, like, moaning and shouting at other people, and like. But boxing is a drug at the same time. The business is a drug, and the sport is a drug. You know, today we had the Superstars of Gymnastics at the O2. Had 14,000 people. It was an amazing event. You know, probably 80% kids. It's really good. But nothing can give me the buzz and the adrenaline of boxing. And my dad once said to me, if you can get 1% of the adrenaline that a fighter gets when they make their ring walk, you'll be a very happy man. And I feel like I get 50% sometimes. And like, to take that away from your life would leave a massive hole. But at the same time, you can't let it affect your real life, because your real life is your home life and that life with the family, you know. So I don't know where we've got to from the money side, but like, you know, it's unfortunately a sport dominated by money, but money will always be the driver, the factor, whether it's sport, whether it's boxing, whether it's football, whether it's business, whether it's property, whether it's like, the money is going to get things done. Like, you could love me, right? But this other guy's offered you 10 times as much. Are you going to turn it down? Are you going to fuck me? Or are you going to say, you know what, I'm loyal to you? Like, there's not many that would do that.
So Deontay Wilder did something similar this week?
Well, yeah, but I think, you know, when you talk about fighters, money's dominating them, there's a guy where maybe it's not, because he's turned it all down. Why is that? You know, I don't know, but then he's not really going for the legacy either, because he's not taking a fight. So, you know, like, it all depends what's being said in their ear. You know,
I know we're getting a bit deep, but with your lifestyle, the way you move around, you want to be so successful in boxing, which you are. You want to dominate world boxing. But what about the success?
It's not about dominate.
But what about the success of your family? And giving them, your kids are very young, right? Giving them that parenthood time at that age.
That's a big concern. You know, that's a big concern. And you have to be a little bit selfish, because to be successful in business. You know, and I often think, like, you shouldn't really be doing some things that I do. I.e.,
isn't the missus?
Yeah, but she also, you know, I'm very lucky in the respect that she understands my mindset and my drive and my passion. She knows I need it. Like, if you cut it away from me, I won't be happy anyway. So it's almost, but you know, I give myself a time frame of maybe 3 to 5 years, right, where I'm just going to give my absolute all. But at the same time, your question was right, you miss that 3 to 5 years of really being the parent that you should be. So it's the balance, you know. But unfortunately, I have this drive inside me, and I think it's my dad's fault, where I can't stop. You know, and I'm totally addicted to succeeding and the business. But that also makes you so dangerous within the business, because, and it's the negativity that almost drives me on. Like, I think it's two things. One is always being Barry Hearn's son, right? So I have to take it to another level, which I've done. Like, even he says, you know, so, but still driving me on to like go way beyond he's ever done. You know, he never had an American TV contract. I did. He never done shows in America on his own. I have. He never did shows in Italy and Spain and Germany and like 60 shows a year, and like, so that's that. And then the other one is just the drive to succeed and to prove people wrong and to beat people. It's like a sport. You know, if you got Heyman or Warren and they're slating me and they're saying this and he won't do it and he won't make it out here, it's the worst thing you could say to me. The worst thing. You're better off patting me on the back and saying, mate, you're going to crack it out here, you're the greatest. And I would still not take my foot off the gas, but it's like, to motivate me, it's, you know, I love proving people wrong. And but yeah, you know, it's we're sitting here now talking and it's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll get home at 2. My kids will jump on me at 5, and then next week we're on the road to Liverpool, we're all over the place, and I'm absolutely shattered. But I ain't stopping. One day I will. And like I said, like, don't be surprised if I just go, thank you, bye. Do you know what I mean? Probably not, but it shouldn't surprise you, because, you know, there will come a time where I just think, you know, but it's just, you know, the goal and the buzz gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So like now we're talking about AJ selling out MSG. I mean, you know, it weren't so long ago he was boxing in front of 3,000 or 4,000 in Newcastle, or, you know, in Cardiff. Then he went to Wembley and we sold 90,000. And everyone was like, wow, you've done it again after Froch Groves. And I went, yeah, you know what we're going to do now? We're going to go Millennium Stadium. And we've done 80,000 there for Takan. And then we've done Parker there. And then we went back and done Povetkin at Wembley. And it's like, where does it end? And then we go take him to America and sell out MSG. And I'll do the biggest TV deal in box. Like, it's just, nothing's ever satisfies you. That's the problem. So it's like, where does it end? You know, like my missus will say, well, what's this deal you've done in Italy? I'm like, what do you mean? Well, I've just read it on the internet, 8 shows. You can't do 8 more shows. I said, no, we've set up a business over there. And, you know, I said, well, what, you can't go to it. No, I'm going to go to the weigh-in on the Friday and then fly to America for the show. It's like, you're mad. And then when she finds out we've got ones dropping in Spain and Germany, she's going to do her nut. But she'll just go, like, she knows that that's like, I can't help myself. And it ain't about me. Like, honestly, like, it's just, like I say, the financial targets are there, but it's not, oh, let's see how much money I can earn and buy a yacht or a plane. I don't live that kind of lifestyle. It's more about just winning. That's what motivates me, and that's what should motivate anyone in anything they do. It's like you know, you want to beat all these guys. That's what you should want to do. Sit up there. Like, if I was you, I'd be posting it. I'd be looking, like, every second. I'd be looking at the view numbers. Then I'd be looking at IFL, and I'd be like, and I'd be fucking possessed and just obsessed with, you know, with winning. But those kind of people are hard to beat.
We're getting deep, Eddie.
Right, yeah, fucking hell.
Listen, I'm going to ask you something on that. You talk about succeeding and it's not about money, but what about, it's an addiction to be successful, but what about the health risks to that addiction?
To me, or to fighters, or what?
To you.
Yeah.
It's a question for you.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Like heart attacks, like stress? Yeah.
Your eyes are shot red.
Yeah, I know. Well, do you know what? I keep getting this.
And you've had no alcohol.
If there's a doctor, can you tell me why my eyes keep getting red? It's probably blood pressure. You know, my granddad died when he was 44 of a heart attack, and his dad died at 43 of a heart attack, and my dad had a heart attack at 49, something like that. So it ain't looking great, to be honest with you.
And you are 40
I'm
right?
40 this year.
June
Yeah.
8th.
Yeah. So I do. I mean, look. Medically, things are a lot more advanced. I have yearly medicals where we have, but listen, anything can happen. I could drop dead tomorrow. You know, you could get hit by a bus on the way home, done. But you know, it's like, but what I'm doing is definitely not healthy. So you do have to look at that. But it's a sacrifice you make to give it your all. You know, and sitting on a plane to LA for 12 hours and getting off and having a 3-hour meeting and then getting back on a 12-hour plane back the other way and then driving up to Manchester straight from the airport when you land to do a press conference and then back and then flying off to Milan the next day. I mean, that's madness. But like, if you want to be the best, you've got to go through the madness. So that's just where I'm at with it all, really. So yeah, but like, I think if I was a competitor, I would just hate me. I would just think
they already do it.
Like, I would just think go away. Like, Lee, like what you do, like he's everywhere. But that also makes me a little bit horny. Yeah. So.